Call the meeting to order at 6:01. This is the Board of Ed monthly meeting. Roll call, please.
Chairman Donahue.
Here.
Vice Chair Nafrio.
Here.
Secretary Sionis. Here. Judy Buchanan. Zachary Canada. Kim Dawson.
Here.
Victoria Alonso.
Here. I'll salute to the flag, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. If there are any visitors, visitors' comments are limited to items on the agenda. Any visitors would like to comment on the agenda? Okay.
Then I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda of the June 19th, 2025 Board of Education meeting as submitted.
I'll second. Is there any discussion? Okay. Take our vote. All in favor for accepting the minutes as
The consent agenda.
the consent agenda as submitted? Please say aye.
Aye.
Can I just real quick, sorry,
Yeah.
do we want to acknowledge the retirement?
I'm going to,
Okay,
never mind, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to,
To superintendent's report, thank you.
yes.
From the consent agenda, I just want to go back and highlight the careers of Mrs. Eileen Simmons, who was a 25-year employee in our special ed department. Her family went through and were students at North Branford. She did an amazing job throughout her career. Passionate about our students, loved working at high school with high school age students, and we're certainly going to miss her. And Caroline Wallace, who was recently hired as a school psychologist, is taking another position. So we wish her well in her endeavors. Sarah Alberti is already working on replacements for those two positions. We did hire Nicholas Sagnella, if that name sounds familiar. He's a graduate of North Branford High School. His father is a famous coach in North Haven as a football coach. And Nick is coming back from the old Saybrook School District as a tech ed teacher, and he'll be working at the high school. So we're excited to have him back. And we have hired Heidi Ferrucci for the integrated preschool position at Jerome Harrison. So those are just...
Was that a vacancy position?
Yes. So there was two hires and two that we're going to look to fill.
Any savings in those two hires?
Yes, in both of the hires. There were senior high-step employees. Yep.
Excellent.
Okay, Board of Ed briefs are attached. You didn't have a chance to go through them. Obviously, graduation, if you were able to make the 8th grade promotion in the high school graduation, I thought the kids were exceptional. When you go into a graduation, you never know group personality, and things can happen, and kids can be kids, as we say. And they were amazing. I mean, they listened to the speeches. They were respectful. They were heartfelt when we recognized our little Lila, and it was really special. So I think the whole evening, if I were to rank it 1 to 10, I'd probably give it an 11. Great job to the high school. A lot of recognition from Mr. Steffler, who was retiring, and it was hard for him. I know it was a very emotional night, and he appreciated all of the acknowledgments that we gave to him. So,
And a very nice retirement dinner for him.
yeah, great turnout, a great retirement dinner with a lot of retired staff members coming back.
You see how well respected he was with the people that came to the dinner.
And he doesn't like that stuff. He's not. He's like, do I have to speak?
He was a fish out of water.
No, but it's who he is. So that's the update just on the briefs, and thank you for attending events and graduations and events at the school. The kids know when you're there. The staff definitely knows when you're there, and they appreciate it because obviously they're the one they're in the trenches, and they go through the day-to-day. And so when they see you there supporting them and acknowledging their efforts, it goes a long way. So thank you. Martha, I'm going to turn it over to you.
On the monthly report for May, you'll see that we had total expenditures of 3.7 million. Of this, 2.4 million was attributed to payroll, and 916,000 was benefits. That payroll number is a little higher than normal. There were 3 payrolls in the month of May, just because the way the calendar fell with our every other Thursday. And in addition, we also paid out the second payment for our medical buyout. And our medical buyout is compensation for those employees who choose not to participate in our group insurance plan. And through their bargaining unit contract, it says, you know, if they choose not to opt in, then there's a small payout associated with that. So we also paid that in May. In regard to the year-to-date salaries, if you look at the report, you can see, I'm just going to turn to it quickly. I find it.
Martha, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Just about the health insurance for the buyout. That line, why is it so up and down? Like on April it was 21,000 and it goes to, like, how does that?
So there were 2 payments made. Actually, if you refer back to the sheet that I had at our last meeting, you'll see that on May 1st, we had the payment for the month of May, and then on May 21st, we had the payment for June.
Okay, gotcha.
So our health insurance for the fiscal year is complete now. And the reason why that happens sometimes is by the time we get that invoice in, and then we have someone actually check that invoice to make sure that the people who were supposed to drop off for whatever reason were dropped off, and those that needed to be added were added. And then we make sure that we agree to the amount that's due, and then that goes to our accounts payable person to process. So sometimes there's a lag time, especially if there's something going on, you know, that person's desk, so.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure. So if you look at the year-to-date report, it's behind the monthly report in your packet. I just wanted to point out that even though we do have some significant overages in building sub and on the substitute line, you'll see that there's salaries remaining in the certified salary and the non-certified salary line. So hopefully that gives you some kind of ease, you know, to see that, yes, there was salaries remaining in the 111 and the 112 objects, even though the objects for long-term sub and substitute seem pretty significant. So there is that balance, and that's what I was trying to
But is
say to you.
there one more payroll?
There is,
There's
yes,
one more payroll.
there is.
So,
But the only people who will be paid on that payroll are your 12-month administrators
okay.
and your 12-month custodians and a handful of 12-month secretaries. Other than that, everybody else has been paid.
Okay, because I was a little concerned with the balance on certified salary.
Yeah, it's not gonna be anywhere near.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see, going back to the report. We're in the process of reviewing all of our open purchase orders because we are at the end of the fiscal year. You'll notice that Object 210, which is our health insurance, does still have an encumbrance in it. That encumbrance will be closed out. My accounts payable person is on vacation, so that will happen when she returns, but I just wanted to point that out to you, that that will be closed out, so those monies will be returned to the line. There are a number of budget transfers requested for your approval. These clean up the non-salary lines that are over budget. The majority of our transactions are, as I just said, our payroll and our purchasing is mainly done, so we're waiting for invoices, receiving those invoices, and processing the open purchase orders in the system. So the transfers really are to clean up those over budget lines, which are in 510 transportation, 512 late bus, which we've been talking about all year, 520 property and liability insurance, 530 telephone, 645 workbooks. Under Object 622, we did have our first conversation with Greg from United Illuminating in regard to moving the credits from the accounts where they are currently sitting to the accounts where they're needed. So we're hoping that the next electricity bill that we receive, it will show those credits actually being put to use for us. But I just wanted to point out that has not yet happened, but the conversation has happened, but the paper piece of the transaction has not. In regard to the 2% funds, as you know, we're still waiting on the 23-24 town audit to be complete so that the number that will go into Fund 25 will be known at that point. Family Resource Center, there's only a few transactions remaining for that as well. Family Resource Center does not have any more, days for the kids, and I believe their staff is just on the few 12-month staff that they have working. We did actually, were able to encumber the health insurance payment for 24-25.
That's great.
So that's for the 3 individuals that do participate in our health insurance, the Family Resource Center will be able to reimburse the board for that, and you'll see that on the report. And food service. So during the month of May, there was 16,595 reimbursable lunches served. This actually is a decrease of 841 when you compare it to May of 2024. Overall, we are still up in the number of lunches that we've served for 24-25 by 2,137. So our month of September that we had in 2024 really was a big help in that. So in addition to the lunches, we had $1,100, reimbursable breakfast meals served at the high school. And if you look at the financial report, there is a year-to-date loss showing there when you include the encumbrances of $1,700. Still have that one final payroll for the cafeteria folks, just maybe 2 or 3 days, I believe, is all that's outstanding.
There's only a couple that are on the benefits for cafeteria, correct?
Yeah.
Now, are they coming out of the food service account, or are we paying those from the board
Well, right
side?
now, you'll see, if you look at the food service report,
Yeah.
which is the very last page,
Yeah,
you'll see that there was 73,500 budgeted. I don't believe that she will have that much money remaining at the end of the fiscal year. So depending on how June shakes out, we will reimburse the board for as much as we can.
okay.
But I highly doubt that it will
Okay,
be.
no, just a question, because I know like we carried the FRC, but they're able to carry their own now. I didn't know if we had gotten to that point yet with food
Yeah,
service.
unfortunately, it's the numbers just didn't play
Yeah, okay.
this year.
Yeah.
Martha, when we're looking at these numbers, like on the bottom here for food service, is this just for the high school?
So the green numbers there, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the average number of meals that we served in the month.
For the high school or the whole district?
So the lunches would be for the whole district, and the breakfast, because the breakfast is only at the high school, is only for the high school.
Okay, thank you.
So what I did was I divided the number of meals by the number of serving days, and that's how I came up with the amount that we were serving per day.
I mean, it does kind of seem like besides November and April, where we have a bunch of days off, that's kind of going to be our average, like in that 700 and something range, right?
It's like 50% of our school
Yeah.
population total.
It's a
good.
really good
Half of
amount.
your kids are eating.
Yeah.
It's a really good sign.
Yeah.
And I know we are planning to pilot breakfast at the intermediate school in the
Yes.
fall. So
we are.
hopefully that will catch on as well, and high school will continue to grow its participation.
They sent a parent email out to see the interest for it.
And there is interest, so people want it, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. In addition, there are, as I mentioned before, there are several budget transfers, and they are in the middle of your packet. You'll see it is to transfer funds between paraprofessional salary lines, security salary lines, bus monitor, cover funds for the additional special ed vehicle that we needed during the year, special ed support salaries, repair and maintenance items that went over budget at NBIS. That is not facility related, that is curriculum related. This is purchase service. There's also $578 we need to cover for purchase service at the business office. That was to cover the cost of our 1095C forms that needed to go out with our W-2s. It ran a little bit over what we were expecting. We had some transfers necessary to cover instructional lines at NBIS. And then for the electricity solar, I'm simply moving funds that I know are available in those listed electricity lines to the solar line at the auditorium to help try and balance some of that out. On the next page, you'll see the long list of transfers to cover the cost of the late bus that we added in the last fall. And then also a list of transfers to cover the shortage in our transportation line that we had for our district transportation. It looks like I duplicated the 1095C again, 578, so just cross that one out. All right, funds needed to cover travel, property and liability, and the telephone line at the high school. So those are all of our transfers that we're requesting this evening.
Okay. We'll make a motion to approve the budget transfers for the 24-25 school year as provided by Martha Vaughn, Director of Personnel and Business.
I'll second. All right, any questions or discussion for Martha for the finance report? No? Everyone's okay?
So,
All right, we'll take our vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? There are none.
Okay.
Thank you.
Certified evaluation per section 10-151B, general state statutes. I have to assure you that all educators have been evaluated by administrative team and that my administrative team, so that's a yes, yes, and yes. By June 30th is the cut date. We hold all those evaluations here at central office. So the administrative team did a great job of, as busy as they are, running around and making sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. So we can check that box. This is always exciting every year. We do post-high school plans. And when you look at Exhibit C in your board packet, it'll list over 4 pages, just very generically. The percentage of kids that went to most competitive schools, 55% were accepted into the most competitive schools, highly competitive, 83%. And it goes from 25 down, you look at year 24, year 23. So in 24, we had 27% accepted. So we jumped to 55. We stayed about the same for highly competitive. We went up in very competitive, went up in competitive, and then obviously less competitive, we're about 100%. So 86% will go on to continue their education. There's a split between 2 and 4 year schools with students going into the trades, which I'm super excited about. You know where I stand there. And then 2 going into the military, and then actually, I'm sorry, 1 in the military. And then we have a student moving up to the 18, 21-year-old program at the Auger House. And 3 students are undecided, and they'll figure it out. So a great year, successes, you can look at the colleges,
It's an
Fine.
incredible list.
It is really incredible.
yeah, and the only part that I didn't, that our number one went to Yale, and Yale didn't get on there because that's where he was accepted. So you look at, Brown, which is an Ivy school, Princeton, Ivy school, and our number one, who was our board rep, is going to Yale, so.
Yep.
It says a lot.
It does.
You have to have the ability to offer the coursework and opportunities for students to be in an internationally competitive pool at the most prestigious schools in our country. And to have 100 students graduate and have, a student go and be able to go there, where other surrounding towns had, no students going to, and they're much larger, so it's nice.
Another important thing that you mentioned during graduation was that the open choice students were
Yeah,
all
going down.
all moving on to
Yeah.
college, which is pretty
And it's
pretty
nice that
impressive.
we have one going down to South Carolina to go to school. They're getting out of that comfort zone. And we have 2 students going to Europe to go to school.
I was gonna say, there's 6 international.
Yeah, there's two of them, two international students. You know where they're going?
Incredible.
Affordability. It's cheaper to
Yep.
stay, live over there and go to school than it is to live on campus and go to school here. So who knows, trends in the future, but I love when students get out of their comfort zone and take chances like that, so. It's a good one, it's a good report.
I have a family member that works at Quinnipiac, and she said it's $80,000 a year
Oh, yeah,
between the tuition and the housing there.
oh, yeah,
$80,000.
yeah.
And it's not, it's not
It's
top
not
tier.
Yale. It's not Yale.
Yeah, it's not a top tier, so it's really
It's not Ivy
become,
League. Yeah, it's
out of
crazy.
reach
It's
for
crazy.
many students.
It really is.
So,
It's an excellent list.
Yeah, it is. Impressive.
Very, very good news, lots to be proud of.
okay, authority to hire. Each year I ask the board to make a motion to approve the ability to hire. As you know, I still have to hire a business teacher, which we're actively interviewing for right now, and a special ed teacher. So I just need a motion that we can, with the shortages that we're seeing, we can't wait to,
No,
if we
of
can
course.
hire it to hire, then I introduce them to you
Of course.
in the return of the summer. So I just need that motion.
Then I make a motion to approve that authority be granted to the superintendent to hire certified teaching personnel effective immediately until the September 18th, 2025 Board of Education meeting.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question on that. So right now, because we have such a tight budget, right, and we had to get, had so many losses and so many cuts.
Yep.
When hiring, we're very careful of who we're hiring and how, and that budget, because I get so nervous.
Well,
Because I get it, I understand, I
It's-
totally get that we need it, but
it's
I'm
a
wondering.
mathematical formula. If I have a highly qualified teacher that's less expensive than someone going out, it's a win-win. I was fortunate that my openings were not in areas, science, math, language, where the shortage areas, sometimes you only can hire in order to run the program. So we're fortunate this year, we're saving our hires. So, but that's not every year, because with the shortages, you just,
I get
So
that,
you
I'm
get
just
your
thinking
best.
this year particularly,
yeah,
you
we were
know
able
what I
to,
mean?
we're 2 for 2 so far.
Right, okay, awesome, and we'll be able, you'll keep us updated on all of those.
On the other hires, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We let go of 10 positions. So 2 high school positions were eliminated, they went to the middle school. 2 coaches were sent back to the classroom, so 4 certified teachers we eliminated. We eliminated 2 security guards, we eliminated 2 custodial positions as well. So we definitely consolidated our working force. We removed 1 secretary, so we're 10 total down. These are positions I have to fill. In order to remain a comprehensive high school and offer these classes, we have to fill them. And there's a need for these classes. So there's a strong enrollment in like my tech program, my business program. It's part of the graduation requirement, so special ed I have to have. So,
Thank you.
yeah. No, sometimes it works in our favor. This year it did. We got really highly qualified people that are less expensive than those that were going out.
Yeah, that's great.
Just as a little aside, Harvard closed its teaching education program, so did several other universities around the country, just due to low enrollment.
Yeah.
So, this teacher shortage is going to continue into the future. just less schools educating teachers.
You're gonna get more and more people in the art program that are career change people, which is the alternative route. They do a quick, coursework seminar, and they get certified and go in. In any shortage area, if you're a carpenter, plumber, electrician, anything like that, you could use your life experiences to go in and get certified and teach tech ed in the school. And that's the only way we can fill these positions. So, language teachers are very hard to find. We used to have 4 languages at the high school.
Right.
We're down to Italian and Spanish.
Wow.
French went away. French has gone by the wayside. Latin, you can't find Latin teachers.
Right.
It's a dead language. It's great for certain things in the learning process, but you can't find them.
Chinese or Mandarin?
No Mandarin. No. So,
Okay.
all right.
All right. Did we vote on this?
No, we
Oh,
had
sorry.
discussions
I got off
to
on
take our vote. So, all in favor of the motion, granting the authority to the superintendent to hire certified teaching personnel? We can take that vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Town manager, we had a meeting today with members of the council and the board. We had 5 action items that we had on our list. Pawtucket Valley paving, we discussed options for extending the breadth of the paving project for a small area and coming up with creative financial ways to offset the shortage and what we have established there, but we think we're pretty confident we'll be able to do that. High school field use in the summertime and field use by Park and Rec, and our elementary schools, we had a conversation about with the shortage in personnel, how are we going to manage line, cut, and do all of that. And so I think the team approach with our athletic director being present and talking about people who use the fields, will be able to work with Franny Marola and his crew to get the fields lined and used over the summer without incurring a lot of cost. We talked about account 25 and the funding next year, some of the big projects that we had, conversations about system management systems, for the auditorium in Jerome Harrison, with air conditioning being put into the auditorium this summer. And we have some, hopefully some creative ideas to offset a very large number in order to update the management systems. So we'll keep you informed. John is going to be working with a vendor to try to get the auditorium up and running. Jerome will do manually. And then, we'll see where we're at. We'll kind of work with the council on ways to address that. The storage building has been passed over to permanent project. Franny Marola will be working with John, with the permanent project committee on all aspects of that. And we're still hoping to get the students involved on the backside. By the time they start the project, clear the project, we'll be back in school, it looks like, so we still can have an experience for the students to be a part of that, which is the main reason. Mr. Marola will be using one of the bays. It's a 5-bay garage for storage of his equipment and for paint for the fields. So it's a great benefit to him too. Any questions on that? I appreciate the 3 members that were there. Okay. Renovation project, whiteboards are being cleaned and examined for ghosting. They're still doing that, and Mr. Steffler has been in communication with the vendor and with members of the permanent project committee and looking at either they're going to have to resurface those boards, or we've changed the product and given them the right cleaning, I'll say, rags to make sure that those boards are working for our teachers. So I think we're in a much better place. A couple of boards may have to be resurfaced over the summer, but they're actively working right now at the high school. There's literally glass being replaced. Dozens of pieces of glass are being replaced at the high school. That was a big bone of contention with the glass that went in and meeting the spec that it was qualified for resistance and breaking. And the permanent project committee held strong to their convictions and worked through so that they're there now, replacing the majority of the glass in the building. We're still waiting on the back hill landscaping with what they're going to do to correct that. They're, putting a retaining wall at the bottom, or if they're going to put a swale at the top and try to redirect the water away, because it's going to continue to just let go and come down. And if you've been behind the school, you can see the two areas where all of the bushes are at the bottom of the hill, so that's what water does. So we're working on that with the landscaping. I mentioned today they're going to put some irrigation on that little practice field that's in between the parking areas. The paving will start very soon at the high school. The new fencing will be going up there as well. MBIS will have some curbing put in and some sidewalks done, and the front entranceway will be narrower than
And the
before. There'll
overhang?
be no stones. Yeah, the screws in the overhang. We'll get those screwed in. But so there's a lot of work going on this summer. All the buildings will be cleaned, emptied, put back together. The camp is underway at Tucket Valley for the students, and at Jerome it starts on Monday for the little ones.
Can I just say that list of camps, if anybody has had a chance to look at it, is incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
Like what
things.
they put together, like I want to go to the camp. There's so much just like field
You've
trips
aged
every
out.
day, events
Yeah.
every day. Like, can the board go?
They do the water parks, they do golfing, they do fishing, they do a lot of things that just
So many things.
very broad,
Wow.
which is wonderful. The kids love it.
What age group is that?
I think it goes 1st to 8th.
Yeah, and then a lot of the 8th graders, when they get to high school, they come back as volunteer counselors,
Yeah.
and then they work for us. And a lot of them are certified teachers now that are staff members that have done the camp for 20 years. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a cult. Once they get in, they don't leave. They come back and,
Fun.
Who could blame them?
no, they love it, and they bring their talent, so. And, but anyway. So that's it for the renovation project. Committee reports.
That'll be executive session.
Yes, we're gonna open the committee reports. Okay, we have
Negotiations will be under,
negotiations.
executive session.
Okay. Budget and operations, no meeting, curriculum and instruction and strategic planning, no meeting. Pension, no meeting. Policy, Ms. Sienna?
Following policies for second read, I'd like to make a motion to approve policy P1015, prohibition of sex discrimination, including sex-based harassment for students as submitted.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, any discussion? Anyone have any discussion on this? It's, this one and the next one are just reverting back to what we had prior in 2020, prior to 2024. Anyone have any questions? No, all good? Okay, now we can take our vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve policy P2230, prohibition of sex discrimination, including sex-based harassment for personnel as submitted.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this one? Okay, let's take our vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? None, the motion carries.
And I'd like to approve policy P7517, safety and security as submitted.
Second? Any discussion? Okay, everybody's good with that. Take our vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, the motion carries unanimously. ACES. Can't say we've got a dedicated person to go to those meetings, just doesn't happen.
They're during the day, right?
Yes.
Middle of the day, yeah, it's like 12 to 2. Building committee, back to you.
We did have a meeting and Scott mentioned everything that we're working on.
Right. Okay, so we're covered there. Communication.
No.
Well,
We
we're
are.
gonna-
I mean, we kind of was, but we went over everything that was discussed.
Yeah, we're gonna call that our communication committee.
I mean,
Might as well. Okay.
then I'll make a motion to adjourn to, oh wait, do you want to do visitors and press and go to the board?
Sure. Visitors, press, come on up, bros.
Rose Angeloni, liaison to the Board of Ed from the Town Council. First of all, I would just like to congratulate all of the seniors who graduated. It was a very nice ceremony. I know the weather was a little iffy that day, but they got it done. It was outside. It was great. And it was very nice. Also, former Superintendent Don McCarthy was there because he had a grandson that graduated. It was nice that he was able to sit in the section down below and see his grandson. And he was recognized. So I thought that was very nice. And just like to congratulate Todd Steffler on his 25 years of service to the district, 15 as principal. The accolades and the kids, including them in their speech, was actually very nice and everything. So it was very nice. I, enjoyed being at this graduation on Tuesday night and then also 8th grade promotion on Monday night. And pre-K at Jerome Harrison for pre-K 4 class on Monday was very nice also. They looked very cute in their caps and gowns and everything. So it was very nice. The only other thing I would like to request is anything that was not in the packet that was given out as far as financial information, your line item transfers, anything from last month, if that could just be sent to me in a digital format so that I have that on there, what your budget cuts were. And once you have your budget established with the cuts, the revised budget for the 25-26 school year, when you get that, if I could just have a copy of that also sent to me electronically so I can have it in my
So
files.
who normally would do that? Would that be Martha?
They're usually part of the board minutes too, I believe now.
So would that be Anna, or would that, who would?
No, Martha.
Martha, you would do that, okay. So it's just,
Mary puts everything that I hand out into the minutes now. So,
Well, last month when you went through your cuts and everything else, I looked in the minutes, I didn't.
So that sheet will just send. The
So
one sheet
what-
of documents, the
Let-
1.88, we'll send that out.
okay.
You're good.
But let's just make sure that it all goes into our minutes so that anyone who comes to look for that information can find it. And so Rose doesn't have to ask every month to have these things sent. We could just.
I think Rose is gonna ask anyway, so. It's not a big deal, it's easy to do.
Well, it's easier to just have the same packet because I can save it as that packet and not have to keep going back to the minutes and saving certain sections because I don't need all of the minutes on there. It's just nice to have the financial information so it's easier to access.
Right.
If
Okay.
it's too hard, that's
Okay.
fine. I'll just
No,
go to the minutes.
That's easy.
Not a big deal.
So,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, good of the board. I have something I would like to say. This month marks my 1 year anniversary for being on the board, and I just want to thank everyone around the table. I know we're missing some members. Everybody though for just teaching and being welcoming and helping me figure this whole thing out. So I appreciate all of you, learn from all of you, and so thank you so much.
I wanted to say, it's just a wonderful community, like sitting there at graduation with Mr. Steffler leaving. I don't know, when I was in school, you knew who the principal was, but you ran the other direction, like you didn't make eye contact. You didn't want him to know who you are. You know what I mean? And these kids just respect them so much. They'll shake his, not just him, but even other administrators and whatnot. They'll walk up, hello, good morning, shake their hands. It's just a whole different climate. It's just small communities, and I mean, they sang happy birthday to Mr. Steffler at their graduation. It's just the respect that they show and how our administrators make them feel.
Yeah, I see
It's not just one way. It's not just one way. I mean, Yeah, how many superintendents know the kids' names?
I know.
You
And they
know?
come up and they fist pump and they shake.
Yeah, I mean,
hug, it's just.
You know, it's great small town community.
It is.
It really is.
And to see Miss Lee at graduation, like I don't know if everybody caught that, but there were a couple kids who had some tape on their gowns.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so before every other
Yes.
kid walked up there, like she was making sure everyone was pristine. And I think it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
professional.
It's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was on mom duty.
It was nice to see that.
It was cute. It was cute.
I want to give a little shout out to Mr. Lonsdale for going to, so we had fun day at Jerome Harrison, and he happily offered to get up in the dunk tank and start our morning with the kids.
So did Beth Parker, so you have two administrators.
Wow. We're just like getting there with the kids, and it's fun to see. And I will say that this year I've seen from a preschool graduation, Rose and I were there together with our little ones graduating, and to see the love and care that goes into a pre-K4 graduation through the same love and care that went through high school graduation. Like, it's not just our elementary school that's nurturing and loving, it is our entire district, and I think that's really beautiful. And I saw that very proudly this year. So, yeah.
So cute.
It's really true. It's
Maybe
so
that's
true.
why everyone keeps coming back.
Why do you?
Okay.
All right.
Then I will make a motion to adjourn to executive session as per section 1-225 of the Connecticut General Statutes, as permitted by section 1-206A of the Connecticut General Statutes, to discuss agenda items 6I, evaluation of the superintendent, 6J, superintendent's contract extension and salary, and 7A, negotiations unaffiliated salary increases.
Second. Everybody in favor of going into executive session?
Aye. I would like to make a motion to extend the current contract of Superintendent Scott Schoonmaker, Superintendent of Schools, through June 30th, 2028.
Okay, we're discussing or we're just taking our vote?
I'll second the motion.
Well, then we can
Second,
discuss
okay,
it.
Who
Second,
seconded that? Who?
Vicky, I made it, Vicky second.
okay.
Now you can ask for discussion.
Okay, discussion, anybody?
I would like to say that we are extending the contract of the superintendent. I would like to thank you very, very much. You graciously, in this tough economy and tough budget season, said that you will forego a raise this year. You volunteered to do that and didn't put us in a position, understanding that this has nothing to do, no raise has nothing to do with
Your value and your worth.
your performance or anything. We really appreciate you doing that in this economy.
Yes, thank you very, very much.
We all agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely selfless and putting your staff and your executive board or administrative board first, and that's an incredible sacrifice, so.
Thank you very much.
So, we're going to take that vote and extending the,
I would do roll calls on these.
okay, we'll do roll call, Mary,
Sure.
on the
Chairman-
extension, yep,
Chairman Bondi's,
yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio.
Yes.
Secretary Sienna,
Yes.
Kim Dawson,
Yes.
Victoria Lanza,
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for the 2025-2026 school year for all unaffiliated employees who are not classified as exempt under P9055.
Second,
We do roll call or?
discussion? Okay, no discussion, we'll take our vote, roll call.
sure. Chairman Bondi's.
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio,
No.
Secretary Sienna,
No.
Kim Dawson,
Yes.
Victoria Lanza.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for Martha Vaughn, Director, Personnel and Business for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second,
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Marjorie.
discussion? I just want to say that we are all worried about our budget that we received, and we looked at a lot of different numbers, and this is really a group sacrifice across the board. So I'm going to vote yes on this. You can do roll call.
Chairman Bondi's.
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
No.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Alonso?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for Thomas Lonsdale, Director of Technology for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second. Roll call?
Chairman Bondi's?
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
No.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Alonso?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for Douglas Handy, Systems Administrator for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second. Roll call?
Chairman Bondi's?
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
No.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Alonso?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for Bridget Alphone, Board Certified Behavior Analyst for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Ready, Chairman Bondi's?
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
No.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Alonso?
Yes.
And make a motion to approve a 2.5% wage increase for Malik White, Drug and Alcohol Counselor for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Ready? Chairman Bondi's?
Yes.
Vice Chair Nafrio?
No.
Secretary Sienna?
No.
Kim Dawson?
Yes.
Victoria Alonso?
Yes. That's it.
We're gonna end the meeting, right?
Okay, yes, our next meeting, regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Thursday, July 17th.
Oh, we're not having a July meeting.
That's your decision.
Are we having a July meeting or not, ladies?
I thought we were gonna have the July meeting. I know it was gonna be light, but we wanted to.
August was
No, that was
August.
August.
Oh,
We're gonna come prepared for August with our goals.
Okay, all right, did we didn't really discuss that when we were in,
No, not
session,
in,
but,
I thought we did.
We talked about it during the regular
We
meeting.
talked about doing a regular meeting,
Right,
but we didn't
Because it's not executive
finalize
session.
it. Right. Right.
Okay.
We didn't finalize it.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to have a meeting in July?
I'm not gonna have my administrators here
yeah,
for July. There's not
Right.
a lot of agenda because
Right.
all of the building things are underway.
yeah,
So we
My
talked about,
staffing will be,
Right.
you gave me authority to hire, so you don't have to approve anybody.
Right.
okay.
So it's
All
really,
right. I think we could all use a little break. From,
So the next one will be August.
so the next meeting will be August, I think I have them in my phone.
21st, I think.
21st.
Oh, that's right, it's my anniversary. Yes. Next meeting, Thursday, August 21st, 2025, 6 o'clock.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second. We are adjourned.